An innovative board game is helping prisoners in New York transform their lives.
The game helps them open up about their personal struggles, something that can be difficult to do behind bars. Bianca Peters is here. What's going on?
Yeah, this is really interesting, and I like how it's kind of redefining stuff that happens behind the jail cells. But this game was developed by psychotherapists who recognize the need for current and former inmates to have an outlet for their emotions. It is called Recharge, and for many, it's a transformational tool to change their lives for the better inside and outside of jail.
It's a friendly, competitive board game where the more open and vulnerable players are to self-reflective questions, the more chips they receive, which wins the game. It's all a product of Leslie Robinson's 30 years of working hands-on with the homeless and troubled youth.
Most people don't have a way to have these conversations. People are hungry for that, especially now. There's enormous anxiety and depression. So the games create a refuge and a safe place for people to really bolster and gain resiliency, because relationships are what give you strength and support.
For those that need it most, it's therapy without the high price tag or stigma.
I had a hard time sharing, what I was experiencing, trying to reintegrate or discuss things, traumatic things I went through. So it's enhanced the quality of my conversations with my friends and family, and overall, it's helped the relationships.
It should be in more prisons before guys get out, because you can talk to a mental health person, they're gonna put you on some pills.
It's a lot more than just a board game. It could be a redirection in life.
Thank you very, very much for being here, everybody. I really appreciate it. So I created the Recharge Beyond the Bars Reentry game to provide a safe healing space for people to process all sorts of things that are going on inside, have a good time, bond, get support, get guidance, and not feel alone.
I'm going to ask you this question. This is from the Recharge Beyond the Bars game. It was created by Dr. Leslie Robinson of Transformation Nation. And myself personally, inside there was a series of questions that I began to ask myself. And these are like those questions, much like yourself, you begin to ask yourself questions. So I'm gonna ask you this one from the Recharge game. What do you feel you missed out on? And how can you find ways to have more of those things now?
For me, I think, I'm probably still kind of grieving. Losing my young years, right? I lost a lot. We lose the best of our years, bro. You come out here, you're almost 40 and stuff. It's a different reality, right? You have a lot of catching up. It's almost like you're a dinosaur, right? Because you're so backed up in technology and stuff, and that becomes barriers, having to navigate and deadlines online and trying to submit a grant, and it's just not, something ain't working right, and you have, and you don't get it because the barriers, right, of being so tapped out. And so for me, losing all that time to incarceration, that was heavy. Seeing so much good people in there done so dirty by the system, that's been painful. And I carry that pain with me every day, and I use it as a fire to put lightning in that capital with all my collaborative grassroots organizers to fight for justice for our people, because there's got to be a better way of holding us accountable in this community, when we do wrong, but also of finding healing and on both parties, and that's not what's happening in our judicial systems.
What is the most important piece of advice you would give to someone who's going into their first day of incarceration? Be prepared for something you never experienced before. Your entire identity is taken away that you had as a free person. No longer will you be a father, a husband, a part of the human race. You go into prison and you become a statistic. You become a number. My number was 85A 2837, and I was sentenced to Sing Sing prison for a 15 to life sentence. It's an amazing game. I learned a lot from other people's experiences that I didn't know about. So I think that's one of the features of this game. It opens up the world to other people about experiences you have not experienced. So I recommend this game to people who are coming out of prison or people who are free. You'll learn about life.
Number 6, did you ever have to go to a friend or loved one's funeral while you were incarcerated? During the the 20 years that I served in prison. I had lost 6 cousins, an aunt, a grandmother, and a mother. And it was very difficult for me to make the choice to want to attend those funerals because I had the money in order to pay for the security that is needed to be escorted from the prison to the funeral because it is a necessity. I had the money, but I didn't want the encounter of the people because I did not feel I was strong enough. I did not feel I was strong enough to reconnect with my past, with my family, and the former choices that I made and those individuals who assisted me in making those choices. So I chose not to go, and I later regretted those choices, but I chose for that reason. I felt I wasn't strong enough or ready to interact with these individuals even under a brief period of time.
You know, my family's been good to me, you know, trying to keep me motivated, and it's still difficult, but the game is awesome. The game is very awesome because things that I didn't think I would talk about, even with my family and my sisters and them, they came up.
I'm still standing in a lake of fire. I have my own personal turmoil, you know, my own demons, and you know that represents my anxiety, my fears, my PTSD. Just had a group playing of the game Recharge. I thought it was thoroughly entertaining. It helped me look at parts of my life that I haven't touched upon and since my exoneration, which was 3 years ago.
What is one of the major differences between the way people interact in prison and in civilian life? Respect is a very key and high thing, because on the inside in prison life, that's all you have is respect and your word, right? Your word is valuable. Your word can close doors for you or open doors for you, or in your situation if your word is not what you say it is. And so being able to have that respect, there's a whole nother level of respect. There's you don't see a lot of intrusions into your personal areas. And the second biggest thing is the touch factor. Not being able to get into the parameters of close and intimate touching. I spent years, 15 and a half years, 15 years, 5 months, 23 days. I've just shortly made my 3-year anniversary 2 days ago, on Saturday. So that means that I spent an incredible long time or period of my life not being in intimate connection with anyone.
My soul, that's my heart. It's broken, shattered in a couple places, but it's bandaged together and it's on fire. And when I went in, I thought I was gonna die. And I was told I was never gonna be able to do anything, but at some point, so it was all dark, but then at some point there was a fire that lit up. Very emotional for me to go through some of these questions about experiences. Sometimes we forget things, and I think it's incredibly important to remember and to learn from our experiences. I like that the game is for formerly incarcerated and also for allies. I could imagine it be useful in any setting, from correctional facilities to reentry programming.
What is the #1 thing you would like to see changed in the world?
It's really simple, bro. Equality for all humanity. Every freaking human being, no matter your religion, your race, whatever, right? Whether you're rich or poor, whether you're educated or you're not, whether you're working in the fields, doing a service in the community, or whether you're running a multi-million-dollar corporation, every freaking human being should be treated equally, just equally. That's it, with love, respect, and dignity. You know, giving us the rights and the privileges that every human being deserves. That's it.
I think it's important to get this game out to community centers all around in the neighborhoods, so these kids can learn this before, you know, the at-risk youth, so they can stay out of prison or you know, possibly death. You know what I mean? But it's definitely could reach out and touch them in ways that other people speaking to them can't.
Said by someone who works with young people and who's been there.
Right.
I chose to change and continue to evolve or change and adapt to become the best version of myself. So I thank you and I appreciate you, and I hope that you see fit to donate, to contribute, to lend a hand, to support, to assist those who need something that's going to stimulate their mind, something that's going to help them to be the catalyst for change. You never know what may be a production of that positive change, of them answering the questions that are inside of this Recharge Beyond the Bars. Thank you very much. I appreciate you for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next episode. Life after time. Let's keep it.